Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is almost here, and the amount of lore Mob has fed us in the last 3 to 4 months is insane, and can be pretty overwhelming for a lot of people. I've gathered all the important information we've got from the trailers, screenshots, and the ARG, and I added some of my own theories in this video. So, let the fun begin! Before we dive in, let's take a stock of everything we've been given so far. A cryptic poem, an ARG, a teaser introducing the Nightmare Critters, a Yarnaby trailer, a Doctor trailer, and a gameplay trailer. Each one a puzzle piece, each one a clue, and when we put them together, the bigger picture is far more disturbing than anyone could ever imagine. On one side, we have our enemies, the Doctor, Yarnaby, the Prototype, Pianosaurus, and the Nightmare Critters, namely Baba Chops, Icky Licky, Raby Baby, Alistair Gator, Simon Smoke, Bo, Dewey, and lastly Maggie Mako. And on the other are supposed allies, Poppy, Kissy, Ollie, and the newcomer, Doughy the Doughman. But in a place like Playtime Co., trust is a dangerous game, and when the lines between friend and foe blur, who's really on our side? This chapter's setting will most likely be called Safe Haven, but how safe it truly is remains to be seen. Within it, we'll explore multiple locations. The first, the prison, has been teased the most, hinting at something sinister lurking behind its bars. The second, the scrapyard of toys, a graveyard of forgotten experiments, likely ruled by the Nightmare Critters, as it's the only place we've seen them so far. But here's where things get interesting. Take a look at the symbol found inside the facility. A series of squares within squares, each one leading deeper into the next. And I would say this is the logo of the whole Safe Haven facility. This chapter isn't just bringing new horrors, it's changing the way we play. First, we're getting a brand new grab-back hand, the Red Hand. While its full abilities remain a mystery, it's bound to introduce mechanics that will be crucial for our survival. Another major change? The grabback itself seems to be lower and fit into small and tiny spaces. This could mean that we'll be navigating through vents, hidden passages, or even using it to reach areas that were previously inaccessible. With these new mechanics, Playtime Co. is giving us more ways to explore, but also fewer places to hide. It all started back when Mr. Elliot Ludwig, the founder of Playtime Co., started the Young Geniuses program to basically hire kids in the factory, which is pretty much illegal, but he somehow got away with it. The Doctor, the main enemy of this chapter, was one of the kids in this program named Harley Sawyer. Harley Sawyer was a very passionate kid and wanted to work for the progress of his company, and Elliot loved him. But he couldn't ignore a single flaw in him, his lack of humility. Harley wanted to progress just for the sake of it and not for the betterment of humanity. As a result, he was removed from the program. This was heartbreaking for Harley, and it did more damage than good for him and the company. Even though Elliot did it to make Harley realize his mistake, but instead of doing that, he blames Elliot and calls him a soft, pathetic, small-minded backstabber and nothing more. My theory is that him being unable to cope with his trauma could have caused him to create an imaginary voice, a voice of validation, a comforting illusion of someone that believes in him, to counteract this trauma and gaining his self-worth back. Years passed by and Elliot Ludwig passed away too. Without him, the factory wasn't the same again anymore. The profits were declining, the company was failing terribly, so everyone in the factory was basically helpless. Until Leithpierre asked Harley Sawyer, now all grown up and a neuroscientist, to meet him in the factory. This must be before the Can You Hear Us, Can You See Us tape in Project Playtime.
My name is Harley Sawyer. I'm called the Doctor. When I look at this company we've built, I do not feel proud. Declining profits, failed experiments, people are constantly seeing things they shouldn't. How is that anything less than complete failure on our part? It's pathetic. Now we're understaffed, safety protocols are being abandoned, workplace incidents are common. We can't avoid a lawsuit forever. We need to deal with all of these issues at once. I'm here now with a solution. The Bigger Bodies Initiative. Giant toys. We can increase our workforce and simultaneously decrease the number of lawsuits and people on our payroll if the people we have working aren't people. Put me in charge of it, and I will save this company.
And the experiments went on, and the Bigger Bodies Initiative was a success. Everything went smoothly until something catastrophic took place and killed many tourists inside the factory, which was all caused by none other than our favorite neuroscientist, Dr. Harley Sawyer. Many theorists believe that Harley's conscience was transferred into a computer system as a punishment. This process could have resulted in him not only gaining access to every security camera in the entire factory, but also separating each of his thoughts and personifying them into a fully new entity, each trapped in a monitor with Harley's all-seeing eye. If Ollie was a voice inside of Harley's head, then he would have been personified as a new entity too. The cinematic trailer shows Harley regaining his consciousness and having a conversation with another Harley entity. We can confirm that he is planning something big against us in the stories of our series, but he didn't do this alone. He used the help of the prototype. The prototype could have helped him create this body and the army of robotic leaping angels seen in the trailer, while the doctor could have granted him access to the security system. Better said in this quote, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." But why is Harley against us? Wasn't he at one point one of the staff too? Yes, he was. But now he considers the staff as backstabbing traitors, indicating his psychopathy, which makes sense after knowing what they did to him. During this whole working with the prototype moment, Ollie felt jealous and heartbroken, as the only person he cared about doesn't pay much attention to him. He felt betrayed too. He envied the prototype and wanted revenge. For more proof, listen to these lines about Ali in the Project Playtime Phase 3 trailer.
Compassion is the discarded gem of the Forsaken, a relic of innocence left behind like a misfit toy. Call me a forsaken soul, but I am but a wayward plaything, cast aside and lost in the depths of abandonment, seeking purpose in the shadows.
These lines reveal some very interesting things about Ali. I think I have found the most twisted part of this theory. From these lines, we can learn about the emotional state of Harley. His words give us a sense of abandonment. Many of you must have noticed that he said, I am but a wayward plaything, and you came to a conclusion that he's a toy. Try looking at these lines from a different perspective. Who was Ollie to Harley? Source of comfort or enjoyment? Or so as he calls himself, plaything. On the other hand, wayward means something that has lost its original path and is now disoriented or off track. His sense of abandonment and being wayward leads me to believe that Ollie is now forgotten or abandoned by Harley. This would also tie into the themes of loss and trauma, showing that Ollie might be experiencing Harley's emotional rejection in the same way that Harley would have felt after Elliot's rejection. Because at the end of the day, Ollie is still a part of Harley. Ollie teamed up with Poppy only for his personal gains and does not want and does not even care about being the hero. He wants nothing other than the defeat of the prototype. So now you know everything there is to know about the new chapter. Now you decide what you want to do with this information. That is it for this video, but hopefully, we'll see you next time.